The world of drones is on fire. We have 4 different drones to talk about today, all from Autel, and we have a lot of information to cover, so let's just jump right into it. Alright, so let's start with the Evo Nano Series first. And the series means that we actually have 2 separate drones that we can purchase within this Nano name. So there are 2 separate cameras that you can use on this drone, and depending on what you need, you can purchase a more advanced or more simple camera. So starting off first with the better version, which is the Evo Nano Plus. Here we have this 1/1.28 inch, which is 0.8 inch camera with an f1.9, which promises to have a very nice low light capabilities. We can see some information about the sensor right here, all the pixels, 50 megapixel photos, and yeah, we have quite a lot of data that will be captured with this sensor. So this is the better camera, and here we have the more I would say traditional half an inch sensor 4K f2.8 camera with 48 megapixel photo capabilities. This is still insane because we are talking about a small drone which is under 250 grams. So that's quite impressive. We have a 3-axis gimbal and half an inch CMOS sensors available on this drone. Here we have more information about how the camera works and the fact that we can bring back a lot of details from the shadows and highlights, which is great, but we'll of course have to test that separately for ourselves before we can actually judge the drone for what it is. One thing I noticed is that Autel has brought a lot of different colors, so it's not just the classic orange right now. We have also this Arctic white, which looks very good. We have a blazing red color, which looks amazing, I would say, although I'm a huge fan of the classic orange. But we also have this deep space gray with some yellow accents, which I really like as well. I'm not too sure if I'm going to purchase one of these drones. I'm not sure what color to pick, so if you have any personal favorites, drop them down in the comments. And of course, we also have to address the fact that this drone is only 249 grams, which of course corresponds exactly to the weight of the DJI Mini 2. So it's really impressive that they managed to cram a lot of tech inside this tiny body of just under 250 grams, and we have a lot of features that we don't have on the DJI Mini 2. So here we have this sky portrait, which as far as I understood makes the photography aspect of this drone a little bit more professional, meaning that it will blur some of the background, and it will also include any person that it detects inside your photo and make it a little bit more visible and prominent. Like it kind of has this pop inside the photo, so it will focus on them a little bit better. Now we also have an improved tracking feature, which I'm not too sure about until I test it. I'll have to stand by on that, because when I tested the tracking feature on the Autel Evo 2 Pro, it was just very bad. So I really hope they have mastered the tracking. So we'll have to check down that for ourselves. We also have, similarly to the quick shots from DJI, we have some predefined movements from the drone: flick, rocket, fadeaway, and orbit. They're kind of the same as DJI, so they're just repeating what they know from DJI here. And we have a new app which has better editing possibilities, and it will just make it easier for you to edit your videos on the go straight from your phone. Now, when it gets to the transmission technology that this drone uses, it's a lot better now with this new Autel Skylink technology, which promises 6.2 miles of range, which is I believe about 9 to 10 kilometers, with transmission quality of 2.7K at 30 frames per second. This sounds just amazing because the quality of the image will actually be a lot better. DJI only has 1080p 30 frames per second, if I'm not mistaken. And from what I see, they also have improved their app. I'm not sure if it's a whole new app or it's just a redesign of the old one, but it definitely looks a lot cleaner, and just the user interface looks a lot better. And We also have this new feature called Sonar Sound, which records voices and ambient sounds on the ground through the remote control's microphone, which is kind of okay. I mean, I never needed that, but it might be useful for some situations. Maybe if you are recording a range test or something like that and you want to narrate something and you want to have that audio recorded straight to your remote, which by the way looks like this, which is not very good looking. This kind of feels like an old design, just rehashed and ready to be sold again. But finally we are getting to something very, very interesting, and that is the fact that this drone has an advanced obstacle avoidance system from the front, from the back, and from the bottom, meaning that it will detect some obstacles before it actually crashes into them, and it will be able to stand by and wait for your next command before you actually crash the drone. And as far as the battery time, we have up to 28 minutes of flight time on this Nano series of drones, so very good. I would say probably it will be about 25 minutes of realistic flight time, but that's still very, very good flight time for a drone this size. Now, when we get to the Evo Lite series, here is where it gets even more interesting, because this drone is actually bigger and heavier, and it competes with the DJI Mavic, or should I say the Air 2S and the Mavic Air 2. So these drones right here also come in two separate versions with two separate cameras, but this time we have a 1-inch CMOS sensor with a variable aperture between f2.8 and f11, so you can take control of that aperture, unlike the Air 2S, which is something that many people requested. You have 6K 30 frames per second video and 20 megapixel photos. So this is the Lite Plus, which, like I said previously, they always introduce their better drone first, which is the Lite Plus, and then we get to some more specs of the camera, which is the usual stuff that they normally have. The defog mode has been present on the Autel Evo 2 Pro as well, and we have the ability to restore natural colors, which of course if you shoot in a flat color profile you have the option to do so. Here you have some more automatic balance being applied to the overexposed and the underexposed parts of your image, which is pretty good. Here is the Evo Lite camera, which is in 4K, so it records 4K video with a 50 megapixel photos and a sensor of 0.8 inches, so similarly to the Nano Plus. Here the Evo Lite has this 0.8 inch CMOS sensor with the world's first 4-axis gimbal design, which is pretty cool. I noticed that they mentioned the fact that you can even record vertically, so vertical videos will now be a thing that you can do with this new 4-axis gimbal on the Evo Lite. So you can share your videos straight on Instagram if you want to, which is pretty good because sometimes you really need that vertical mode feature, and now you'll be able to have it with the Evo Lite. So we have HDR video, nothing new right here. You have the ability to again track objects, which I'm not too sure about until I tested myself, because I really hope they have put a lot of work to improve that, because previously the tracking feature was just really bad. Here we don't have that many colors, unlike the Nano series where we had 4, we only had 3 here. So we have this gray color, the Arctic white, and the orange color that Autel is known for. Again, we have the same cinematic shots like the quick shots, flick, rocket, fade away, and orbit. And again, we have the same, we pretty much have the same features like we had on the Evo Nano, but we have a better camera right here, and you can see some more information about the Dynamic Track 2.1, which we have right here on this drone. Now, the transmission system again is the Autel Skylink, but here the signal strength is up to 7.4 miles, so even better than the Nano series. So this is, I think, 11 or 12 kilometers, and we have the same 2.7K 30 frames per second quality of your transmission image. The drone uses 2.4, 5.8, and 5.2 gigahertz for the network bands, and it switches between them automatically, so that's pretty good. And again, we have the same remote controller design, which looks like an Xbox controller, and I don't like that much. Unlike the Evo 2 Pro, which has a really nice design of the remote controller here, I just don't like this design too much. Finally, we have pretty much the same things like we saw on the other drone. We have, of course, the ultra wide angle obstacle avoidance as well right here, with a front field of view of 150 degrees. So you'll have a pretty good obstacle avoidance systems on this drone. And finally, the battery life is up to 40 minutes. And let's not forget this, giving you 30% more flight time than the competition. It's full of things that are a little jab to DJI inside the specification and the presentation of these new drones. They really want us to like this drone more than what DJI offers, and I think it's pretty funny. I have the prices for all of the basic packages of these drones, meaning that it's not like the Fly More combo or the more premium combo with more accessories. It's just the standard version of these drones with one battery each. So the Evo Nano will be $649, the Evo Nano Plus will be $799, the Evo Lite will be $1,149, and the Evo Lite Plus will be $1,249. As for availability, we still don't have the option to buy any of these drones on Autel's website. I'm hearing some rumors that they will be available to purchase sometime in October, but we don't know the exact date as of right now. I'll try to stay on top of things and keep you updated with any new information that I have about these new drones. I really want to know what you guys have to say about these drones. Which one would you like to see on the channel, and which one would you personally buy for yourself? Let me know in the comment section below. And I want to thank you for watching. This is Mike from Drone Supremacy. Take care everyone, and I'll see you in my next video. Ciao!